Hello?
Hey Kevin, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I am well. I am well. Thank you. Thank you for accepting my call and thank you for being on the 90-day podcast.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, thank you. Well, let's get to know a little bit about you. Is that
Okay.
okay? Okay. Did you grow
Absolutely.
up? Thank you. Did you grow up in Hartford, Connecticut?
I grew up in Bloomfield.
In Bloomfield. Okay. Did we go to school together?
You went to Bloomfield?
I went to Bloomfield, and matter of fact, a few of my classmates, one of them I could remember is Yolanda Hopgood.
What year did you graduate?
89.
So you graduated with my sister.
Okay.
I graduated in 87.
Okay.
So at some point we were in high school together, yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you're doing so well.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's a grind, but you know.
So did you always?
If I'm gonna do it, nobody else gonna do it for me.
I know. Did you always want to be in the restaurant business?
So, that's a good question. No. So this is I'm gonna explain to you how it happened. So I went to I was firefighter. I'm retired firefighter from the city of Hartford.
Okay.
While I was doing that, I went to law school. And upon graduation, my parents bought this timeshare in Aruba. So I was introduced to Aruba. So I was going to Aruba like every year for vacation. Mm-hmm. And I just said, when I retire from the fire department, I want to open a bar in Aruba on the beach. So that was my dream. And so I retired from the fire department, but of course, still doing the law thing, so couldn't quite relocate to Aruba. So I had shared that with my classmate at the time when we were in law school. And he works for a property management company that owns a building. And his boss came up to him one day and said, "Hey, do you know anybody who might be interested in opening a bar? I got a building that I'm going to build out, and we just got to find somebody to put in it." So he came to me, and that's how it happened.
Oh, wow. Talking about the right place at the right time.
What's that?
I said, talking about being at the right place at the right time.
Right. So it just all kind of fell into place. So it went from a bar because I don't know if you're familiar. This used to be Lena's Pizza, the building that we're in. And the part of the building that we occupy used to be the bar. It was called Sully's Pub.
Uh-huh.
And it was just that. It was a bar because it was connected to Lena's Pizza. So when people wanted food, they would go over to the pizza shop. And so initially, we were just going to do a bar. And then like somebody said, you guys really should have a kitchen. And so then we got a kitchen. And then, so it's a bar / restaurant. So cafe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So are you and this classmate, are y'all in business together?
Yes. So we've been law partners off and on. I mean, to this day, we call ourselves law partners because we still do some things together. But we were actually physically in a law practice together at one point. I'm now back to being a solo. He's actually general counsel for a property management company, but we still do some collaborative things with closings and things of that nature. And then, yes, we are partners, 50-50 partners in this bar.
Oh, wow. And by you knowing the law, that really helps.
Yes and no. Because there are aspects of the law that yes, I am familiar with and that are very helpful when it comes to drinking establishments. So understanding like the Dram Shop Act and the liability that you as a bar owner have when people come into your establishment to drink,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that you have to look out for. Knowing when to shut somebody off because they've had too many drinks. That kind of stuff. So familiar with that, yes. And being a criminal defense attorney, I've had plenty of clients who've gotten DUIs, and so very conscientious about who we're serving, how much we're serving, and all that other stuff. There are some other aspects of law that definitely came in handy when opening the place up. So what's interesting is like my partner has a in-depth background in like zoning regs and city ordinances and things of that nature. So between the two of us, I'm not gonna say we have it all covered, but we've got a lot of it covered when understanding where we should be, how we should be operating, and the things that we got.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Y'all got it going on. Where the other one is weak, or not weak, I would say, but lacking in one thing, the other one is more knowledgeable, and vice versa.
Yeah, partnerships are, I always say like partnerships are like marriage.
Yeah.
The communication is key. If one person is putting in more work than the other, you start to have issues and resentment, and no different than a marriage. What I can say about Kev and I, his name is Kevin as well, is that, we, like you said, we complement each other. We know our strengths, we know our weaknesses. There's certain things that, like, I know that I'm just not going to expect from him, and
right.
vice versa. And I think in knowing those things, it helps because we don't fight about those things, because I know, like, it's like we call it, what do we say all the time? I forget what we say, but basically, knowing your teammate.
Exactly.
Understanding your teammate. So I know that, if certain things are not, like, if I walk out of here at night and I don't double check the doors, it's ultimately going to fall on me, because I know when my partner walks out of here, he don't check the doors.
Right.
So, but yeah, it works. It works.
Yes. So how does it feel, you two, because you're not in this alone, owning your own business? How does that make you feel?
A lot of different feelings. Liberated, like there's endless opportunities. There's no glass ceiling. It's an opportunity to be creative and bring different ideas to the table. And when it's just the two of you, we bounce these ideas off anyway. It's not like we have to run through a whole bunch of red tape like management or, my director or my supervisor at my job. And then it's a freedom that I can't explain. But at the same time, it's a grind. So, you gotta be willing to grind as an entrepreneur. And there are great benefits to it, but there's also a lot of grind.
I could imagine. Now, do you have a staff that you control, that you and him both control, like monitor, I would say?
At the bar, yeah. So we have a kitchen with 3 chefs, one full-time, the other 2 are part-time, and then we have about, let's see, right now, 1, 2, we have I think we have about 6 or 7 bartenders.
Oh, okay.
Then usually in the summertime, we probably load uh, the roster up a little more because we have an outside patio, and so we need more bodies between the inside and the outside. So usually we have a couple of servers that it's more seasonal.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll bring them back in the summertime. So we probably have, like, overall, I think we have about 12 or 13 staffers.
Okay. Now, due to the COVID, how are you managing that due to the COVID and the safety precautions of COVID?
Right. So, well, one, I say we're still here.
Yeah.
Which I think is a great sign, considering we actually opened in the August of 2019. By March of 2020, that's when they had that whole shutdown. Everything was shut down. And then, they slowly opened up with takeout and then outside. And so we were just like getting on our feet.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't say we weren't even on our feet yet. We were probably still crawling.
Yeah.
But then, we followed the CDC guidelines, the state guidelines and recommendations, the local guidelines recommendations. When we were required, I think when you moved indoors, you had to have the plexiglass up, and all your staff had to be in face masks and that type of thing.
Yeah.
That probably, sometimes that was our biggest challenge. And I felt kind of bad for the bartenders because I get it. It's hard with the music playing. You're trying to hear what the patrons are saying. They can't hear what you're saying, and they want to take the mask down. But we constantly, it was like the mask police. Put your mask on. Got to put your mask on. Where's your mask? Put your mask on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that was, I don't want to say it was a huge challenge, but it was definitely one of the things that we had to constantly stay on, because I think at one point, and I don't know if they were actually going around, you know what, that's not true. I do know that they were going around to certain venues and locations to make sure that people were in compliance, and if you weren't in compliance, they were shutting you down.
Mm-hmm.
And you were getting a fine.
Yeah.
And so we were like, well, the last thing that we can afford right now is to have a fine. We're struggling to keep the doors open, and we definitely don't need that. So we try to be as as strict as possible with the guidelines and follow. If it was like I think at one point it was all sit down, and at a bar that's tough to do.
Mm-hmm.
People they want to stand up, they want to talk, but you got to sit down.
Yeah.
Just sit down. So then what we did was we actually shut down our bar, the bar area.
Mm-hmm.
So people couldn't come up to the bar, and we didn't have to deal with constantly policing people and telling them to sit down. So it was only at that time, it was only dining room service that we were doing.
Okay.
So
yeah. So
I think it built some. It definitely built some character.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
It has definitely built some character. It's put a different perspective on. I think just in general, it's put a different perspective on how we function and operate and navigate on a day-to-day basis. In personal lives and in business. I do know restaurants and bars took the biggest hit because, that social aspect was basically shut down it was shut down, and then it was really suppressed.
Yes.
And it's now kind of coming back around, and, hopefully these numbers are going down and will stay down so that,
I hope so.
Yeah.
What were some of your toughest struggles trying to reach your goal into opening up the Kbarr?
I think some of the toughest struggles were, I think for us, it was the whole project phase. So when we took over this spot, we did a total gut of the interior. And then not only did we do a total gut of the interior, we had to we had to change some things around. We had to add bathrooms. We added a kitchen. And so, like, designing those things, and it's not a huge area. Have you been here yet?
No, I haven't.
Well, we gotta make sure we get you here.
Yes.
It's not a huge spot, and so, like, adding a bathroom, adding a kitchen, like, all of that stuff was challenging because you had to have measurements. Then when they came in to put the kitchen equipment in, they needed exact measurements for where this was going to go and where that was going to go. And then some of the walls weren't even completely built out, so it was hard to figure out exactly what you had for space. But I think that was probably our biggest, I don't want to say it was a challenge, but that was probably the thing that took the longest in this whole project, was the build out, making sure that everything was done to code and we were in compliance. And then, going through the whole licensing, you got to have the health department come in. You got to have the liquor commission come in. You got to have the fire department come in and, like, coordinating all of those things and make sure that things were done. They come in. The nice thing was that all of those entities were nice enough to come out and kind of like before, like, our real inspection happened, they came out and they pointed things out. Okay, this needs to be changed over here. I recommend doing it over here. So, we had the heads up and we changed all. So by the time they came out, we were straight.
Oh my God, that is awesome. And then on top of that, you had the other Kevin, who's more familiar with the zoning and all that.
Yeah.
And his expertise. That's what he does. He zone and knows how to get the permits and know what papers to fill out and know what is required. So, I mean, that, like you said, that was a match made in heaven.
Yeah. It's a great relationship. I've got no complaints.
Great.
Know your personnel. That's what we say all the time. You got to know your personnel.
Yes.
Like, he'll tell me, he'll ask me for some paperwork, and then I'll show up. He'll be like, "Jordan, did you bring the paperwork?" "No, Henry, I forgot it." "No, gotta know your personnel. Know your personnel. Jordan, I'm gonna send you a text message. I'm gonna call you before you leave the house next time and make sure you have it with you." So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any successful testimonies to share that made you feel good, or feedback that made you feel like, okay, I can do better?
So both.
Okay.
And I'm assuming you're talking about here in the restaurant, right?
Yes.
So both. So one of the things that we do on a regular basis is we're not micromanagers, but we're very hands-on. We're very present. So on any given day, if you walk through the Kbarr, our patrons know who we are, meaning, like, they know that we are the owners of the establishment. And so there's not, like, if you go down to some restaurants, local spots, you've been in there 20 times, you've never met the owner, ever.
Right.
And they may be there, but you just may not know who they are.
Right.
But we make it a point to introduce ourselves, to let people know who we are, for them to see our faces. Because I feel like if people are going to come to my spot and spend their hard-earned money, it's important for me to reach out and to be able to say thank you and to build a relationship with them. Because I feel like when you build a relationship with people and you make people feel welcome, so it's almost like here, it's like I'm welcoming people into my home.
Right.
And so they're going to feel good about spending their last $20 at the Kbarr. You know why? Because I go in there I have great conversations. The owners know me by my first name. They make me feel like it's white linen service every time I walk in there.
Right,
and so that's important. And so we get good and bad feedback because we go, I'll go around to the tables and I'll ask, like, how was your service? Is there anything that we could have done better? They may have a complaint, and we'll go over, and our motto is that the customer is always right most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. And so, again, when people have a bad experience, if sometimes that gets wiped out just by you coming over and having a conversation or trying to remedy it, figuring out, what can we do better for the next time?
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that. And on the flip side, like every time I walk in here, I feel good about this place because it is when we sat down and started talking about, like, what is it? What kind of image do we want to have for the Kbarr? And so what we wanted is when you walk in, there's just this amazing positive vibe that you feel. You feel welcome. It's like the neighborhood spot, and everybody in there is treated with, like, red carpet service.
I like that.
We get that feedback, and then just providing like something that is difficult to find in the greater Hartford area. Like we started doing live music on Sundays. And it is just a really, really nice vibe. It's old school R&B, hip hop, Motown, like a little bit of everything. And people and again, it's a small venue, which I think makes it even that much more special because you're bringing people together and everybody's, you're like an arm's length away from the person that's sitting next to you, but everybody's having a good time. They're enjoying the vibe. Just kind of takes you away from reality for a while. And so when I come in and I see that, that makes me feel good because I feel like I'm providing something to the community. Like they're coming here because, you know what? When I go in there, I feel good when I leave. I've had a great experience, and that's why I keep going back.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about.
So it's almost like you ever seen the movie Cheers when someone walked in and they go, Norm.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody knows your name, huh?
Everybody knows your name. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's great though. Like it's just, and I don't think we've necessarily reinvented the wheel on anything. But I think we just put our own spin on, I'm sure there were spots back in the day. There's even spots now where you can go and there's live music. But the one thing that we have here at the Kbarr in Hartford that I don't believe any other spot has, it might be one other spot, but we have a full service outside bar on patio.
Oh.
I don't know any other spot in Hartford. I think like downtown, like the Russian Lady, they might have like an outside bar on their rooftop. But I definitely know for like black-owned establishments, there are no other black-owned established bar or restaurants in Hartford that have an outside patio with a full-service bar out there. So that definitely makes us unique.
Yes. Yeah.
And it helped with COVID because when they went to last summer, it was all outside. Not this past 2 summers ago.
Right.
It was outdoor dining only.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so what a lot of places had to do is they had to create, the city made it very easy for you to get a permit to have outdoor seating, but we already had that. We had it already. We already had an outside bar. So for us, it was just like, we just kind of rolled right into it. So it was nice.
Wow, yes. I love it. Now, with the live music, and you have that on Sundays, do people volunteer their services, or do you handpick like who you want this week? Was it reserved, so to speak?
Yeah. So before COVID, we were doing live music, and we had a couple of different. We would pick and we had one particular group that we had on a regular basis, but then we had some other bands that we reached out to perform, and so since COVID, we just started back with the live music, and we have one particular band. I don't know, you know Mike Childs?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he's from Hartford, very well known. He's a keyboardist, great keyboardist, but he's got a band. He's got a bunch of people that he works with, and so he's kind of become like our, I guess we want to call it like the house band.
Okay.
But then what he does is he brings in like a different singer. He brings in a different vocalist. He might bring in a saxophonist this week. Next week it might be a bass player. So he brings, every week there's like a different face, or maybe two different faces.
Okay.
And I just talked to him 2 days ago, because we were doing every other Sunday with him, because he had another venue that he was doing. And we just had a conversation at the beginning of this week. He's actually going to be doing 3 Sundays here now and 1 Sunday there. So if we're going to have live music, we're going to move to live music every Sunday, and then we're going to fill that Sunday that he isn't here with like another, a different guest band that we're going to ask to come out and perform.
Wow. Now, what are your hours? What are your hours at Kbarr?
So we are open Wednesday through Sunday. Wednesday and Thursday, we're open from 5 to 11. Kitchen is open until 10. Friday and Saturday, we're open from 5 to 1. With kitchen opening until 11. And then on Sunday, we're open from 3 to 9. Well, yeah, 3 to 9. The kitchen kind of starts shutting down around 8:30. They're usually finishing up their last set around 9:15, and we're usually shutting down after that.
And where are you located, if you could tell my listeners?
Say that again.
Where are you located?
We're on 2071 Park Street in Hartford.
Okay. And do you have a website?
We don't have a website yet.
Okay.
We do all our, so we advertise on QTQ, and we put a lot of stuff up on, we have an Instagram page and what's the other one? Facebook page.
Oh, okay. So if someone who's not familiar with the Kbarr and they wanted just to look you up on Instagram, and you said you're on Facebook as well?
Yeah, and it's the same. It's Kbarr, which is Kbarr Lounge.
Oh,
so Kbarr.
That makes it easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely.
We're gonna work on a website. Just to, like, I talk to different people, and some people are like, websites are like dinosaurs now. Nobody uses websites. They do all this stuff on Instagram or Facebook. But, there are those people who still go to websites. So what we want to do is we've talked about creating a website that we could post pictures up there, but it'll at least give people a place to go to see the menus.
Yes.
And see what events might be coming up. So we want to do kind of like a calendar type thing, so people know what's going on on a different day.
Yes, that would be nice, because I still go on to websites.
Okay.
I still like going on to websites, and I definitely have to check you out on a Sunday. Now, would your musician be there this Sunday, or is
this Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday? So
because
we figure people are gonna want to watch the game.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Not listen to the music. So yeah, he won't be here this Sunday. He'll be here next Sunday.
Yeah. So I have to plan for next Sunday, because I want to listen to some live music,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I definitely want to just be out and take a look at the be out and just be at the Kbarr.
Yeah. Come check it out.
I will come check it
Let me
out.
shoot me a text when you come in, and I'll definitely be looking out for you.
Okay, and because I got everything all on one track, everything sounds good. This will be my footage. I will just clean whatever I need to clean up, and we are good to go.
Okay. Now, where do you broadcast the podcast?
This is on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Radio Public, Breaker, TuneIn, and also once it's aired on those hosts, after 2 weeks, then I put it on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, and then I always announce when I'm going to air it. What I will do is I like to do something special for all I call all my the people that I interview, my clients.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
put a package together, meaning I would ask you for a photo and maybe some pictures of the Kbarr, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a package together, meaning I'll do a commercial, like a TikTok commercial,
Yeah.
and I'll
Yeah.
say this is about to air on the 90-day podcast, and I'll do a little TikTok commercial prior to the episode coming out so that my listeners would know what's going to be airing. Um, I will also ping you because you're on Instagram and also on Facebook.
Yeah.
And also, I like to make posters and just to create. And once that is done, once the episode is actually aired, I will definitely, you'll be the first one to get the episode. Then I'll post it on all medias, social medias, and then I'm linked to a lot of groups on social media. So I'll link them to all the groups that I'm associated with.
Okay.
And so that everyone is able to be heard, and also you'll get a copy of the episode. And like I always say, I'm I love to promote the episode, but I also encourage my clients to also promote their episode as well.
Okay.
Because it's
Definitely.
about you.
Right. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And so that's what I like to do. And it's heard on the 90-day podcast. This month, Black History Month, I put a
Yeah.
list together on how many plays that was how many number of plays that was heard per each episode, like how many episodes got the highest number of plays.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for Black History Month on certain episodes, and I just want the clients to know that look, your episodes means a lot to me, but also it's the listeners. It's the listeners, and I really wanted to thank the listeners for really tuning in and really listening to these episodes because they're so important. And we're not celebrities, but I consider you guys celebrities because you're so important, and we're all doing something to better ourselves, better our lives, better the community,
Right.
and
Right.
it's definitely giving back. And look at what you're doing. You're creating jobs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's not a lot of jobs, but it's jobs for how many people? What, 12 to 15 people?
Yeah.
That's good. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And who wouldn't want to work in such an establishment where the boss can really say, "Hey, look, I admire you, and you know, you're not just a server. You're Crystal, or you're a Bob, or you're a Mike." You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate what you do. You know?
And that's what we do. So I tell my staff all the time, like, listen, you may come in here, like we were interviewing, I was like, you may come in here and don't be surprised if you see me with a mop in my hand or coming out of the bathroom with the toilet brush or bringing it. Like, we are very hands-on. If the girls need like a bottle of Tito's from the liquor closet, we're running downstairs to get it.
Right.
You know, there isn't any aspect of this operation that we don't like. This I've jumped in the kitchen before.
Right.
When Steph was out sick, I got in the kitchen. You know, when we first opened back up after the COVID, when we would take out only, you know, we didn't know what to expect, and we didn't want to bring anybody in here knowing that we couldn't pay them, and people were collecting unemployment at that time. So Kevin and I did all the takeout. He took the phone calls. We prepared all the food. He took the phone calls, the orders. I was in the kitchen cooking the food.
And see,
so
it needs to be a balance, you know. And that's what I like. I like everything that you and your partner represents. You know, you two are not too big to not want to help out, and I love it. I embrace it. You know, I wish that every boss would think like you do. To where you get to a certain point in your life and you think, okay, I'm too big for that now. You're never too big for anything. You know, sometimes when you watch Undercover Boss, when they have to dress up as somebody else and go undercover and work in their own establishment, and they don't even know what the heck they're doing in their own establishment that they so-called created.
Right. That's crazy. But then I also think that I feel like if my employees see me doing things, and the day I turn around and I ask them to do it, they aren't going to have a big issue with it, because they aren't going to think that I'm asking them because I think that I'm better than them, or that, you know, they are beneath me.
Right.
Because I just cleaned the bathrooms yesterday.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But yeah.
And then to take the time out to say, hey, look, you know, to your customers, hey, look, you know, how was the service? You know, whether they give you good feedback, bad feedback, what can we do better? And to really take that into consideration, so the next time they do come to your establishment and you do recognize them, and you do make that change, and they see and they acknowledge that change, they appreciate it, because they know I was heard. He really heard me. He really heard me. He made that change. And you know, it makes people feel good. And like you said, it makes people want to come back to your establishment. It makes people want to spend, like you said, maybe that last $10, because look, I'm ready to live it up. I'm ready to have fun. I've been working hard all this week. I'm ready to just have a meal and a good drink and listen to some live music. I don't mind spending my last $20 because I know I'm about to have a good time at the Kbarr.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
So I really look forward to next Sunday is my date at the Kbarr.
All right. Well, like I said, just let me know. Shoot me a text. Say, hey,
I sure will. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
All right.
I'm so excited.
Did you know? So my sister's name is Michelle Joyner.
Yes.
You know Michelle?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. That's my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I know her, but I haven't met you. Well, I probably did and just don't really remember. But I know Michelle.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, well, I am so proud of your accomplishments. I am so proud of your partner, Kevin's accomplishment, and the two of you. You guys are outstanding. You guys are phenomenal. Keep it up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, you guys make black businesses. Me looking at YouTube being black business owners, two men owning a black um, business. You make me proud.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So I really
Appreciate that.
congratulate you. I really
And
do.
appreciate you for what you're doing, and you know, reaching out and finding those. I mean, there's so much negativity, and forget about the world, but just in the greater Hartford community, there's just so much negativity that it's nice to get like just that breath of fresh air of
Yes.
positivity and
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
inspiring stories and
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's
Yes.
good.
Yes.
And so that's what we want to be.
Absolutely. And that's where you are. You two are rising stars. So keep it up. I can't wait to visit the Kbarr next Sunday. And I appreciate your time today, Kevin. Oh my God, I'm just happy that I just can't wait. I listen. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't even. I just can't say it again. I can't wait.
All right. Well, I can't. I'm looking forward to having you here.
Oh, well, this is Krista Renee from the 90 Day Podcast. My guest today was Kevin Joyner and he is the proud owner of the K Bar, along with his other partner named Kevin. And Kevin, would you
Kevin,
like to leave off with saying something to our listeners?
yeah. So Kevin Henry is my partner. I'm Kevin Joyner. Kevin Henry's my partner, and I would just like to say, thank you for having me. I appreciate those who are listening or take the time out to listen to the podcast. I think that it's important to know what's going on in our community. There's so much negative stuff going on. So to hear something positive, and hopefully people can pull something inspiring from our story. I don't think it's a special story, but it's a story nonetheless. And if we can make a difference in the lives of the people who walk through these doors, that's really what we're here for.
Okay, well said, my friend. And good night and have fun.
All right.
Okay, talk to you soon.
And I'll see you next Sunday.
You'll see me next Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, bye bye.
All right.